Monday morning, everybody. I would have said it's effing Monday again, but today's my birthday, so it hasn't been an effing Monday. It's been a pretty decent Monday. How's everybody doing? This is Primer Time Radio for the next 60 minutes, or Primer Time. No, that was what you just listened to. I was getting ready to promo that show. This is Boiler Room Radio with me, your host, Jim Funke, the asshole behind the mic here. And Lance is going to be on at some point. His Skype decided to crash just as we were getting ready to go on the air. I tried to call him, and no such luck. So he's restarting his stuff, and he'll be joining me shortly as soon as he sends me a little Skype Connect thingy and says that I'm ready to go. So anyway, we will go ahead and jump into the videos just a tad bit early, right? I mean, we'll go ahead and do the Smoke'em's Market Minute and wait for Mr. Smoke'em himself to connect to the call. So let me jump over here to my YouTube like I usually do. Click on this and go over here and click on this. And the clicking thing is getting old, man, I'm telling you. I'll tell you another thing. 46 today. 46. I laid down about 2 this afternoon to take a little nappy poo. And barely made it up for the show. I'm kidding. I woke up about 5. And wasn't really sure if I really wanted to do the show tonight. You know, got other things on my mind, got other things I'd really like to be out doing. Seeing as how it's my birthday and stuff. But, you know, I'm trying to pride myself on my show. I'm trying to be here live as often as possible. And if I'm not live, I got somebody to cover for me, and I try to call in. So at least I'm on my own show every time, right? Just a pride thing, I guess. Anyhow, I'm going to go over here and seeing as how it's Monday, effing Monday, there is a hyper report, and Scott has one that's just a little bit shorter than usual, 2 minutes and 11 seconds. We'll click on it, and you can hear Scott.
Hello, this is Scott, and this is the Hyper Report. Here are the quotes for various items. First, 70 years. For over 70 years, the U.S. dollar has been the predominant currency in world trade. Today, things are changing very quickly. The combined 2013 GDP of the U.S. and the EU is about $34.2 trillion according to the World Bank, with the U.S. producing $16.8 trillion. On the other hand, the BRICS is about $29.6 trillion, with China producing $60.2, which is short of the U.S. by $600 billion. But how much of the U.S. GDP is from the Fed's QE? Needless to say, the BRICS are coming into their own. Next, political alliance. As the world slowly turns against the U.S. dollar, it appears the BRICS, who are made up of 3 billion people, are pressing to fill any gaps. They are beginning to speak with a common voice of a political alliance and in turn will force reform of the international financial system. To that end, this may nullify the U.S. dollar and any potential plans for the SDR scam. Next, fighting the wrong battle. According to Michael Petto, how can the Fed have conquered inflation if the only battle it has fought since 1987 is against deflation? It is their incomprehension regarding the healing forces associated with deflation that will cause the next collapse to be far worse than 2008. Next, weddings in Hong Kong. If you are in Hong Kong, you can reserve weddings, receptions, and bridal showers at McDonald's. Just think of it, a McWedding where the happy couple share an apple pie and guests get a Happy Meal. Next, GMO food labels. In their tradition of being the best paid-off puppets, members of the House Agricultural Committee pretty much declared outright that Americans are too stupid to read GMO labels were they to be mandatory. Yikes! Next, driverless weapons. Google now has a new problem trying to make their driverless cars legal in 5 to 7 years. An FBI report noted criminals could use automated cars as a lethal weapon. Well, at least one would not be pulled over for driving under the influence. Next, FedEx. Federal authorities charge FedEx with assisting illegal pharmacies for delivering painkillers and dangerous drugs to customers without prescriptions. A FedEx official said it is unreasonable to expect FedEx to take responsibility for the legality of the contents of 10 million packages it delivers each day. Not unless packages are illegally searched by the Department of Homeland Security. Finally, please prepare now for the escalating economic and social unrest. Good day.
The whole FedEx thing, that sounds like a huge way for the government to make more money off of that corporation, right? Instead of taxing them like they normally should, any other corporation, they're going to fine them for delivering packages that they don't know what's inside. Yeah, I'm scratching my head on that one too. Anyway, let's jump back. Roll up here and grab Mr. Greg Manarino. He dropped a couple of videos on some days that we weren't on the air. And he actually stuck his neck out, Mr. Greg Manarino, and requested that the president resign because of what he's doing, allowing to be done to the economy. Surprised he's still hasn't had anybody knocking on his door from the Secret Service, to be honest with you. He was pretty blunt on the video. If Lance doesn't show up, I might just jump backwards in time and play it for you. But we're going to play today's for now. It's a little long, 12 minutes and something, but hell, Lance ain't here, right?
Hello, everybody. It's me, Greg Manarino. How are you today? It is Monday, July 21st, 2014.
Happy birthday to me!
All right, people. It's been an interesting past couple of days, and I do want to talk about that a little further down the line with regard to my last two video blogs. I did do that on purpose, and I want to discuss that further. It's very important, but let's start with this. I believe at this point, despite what is going on geopolitically, that the U.S. equity markets are going higher here. I can imagine I am going to get some flack for that, but again, just look at the interview that I did last month with Greg Hunter. I had said specifically this equity market was going to hit all-time high after all-time high after all-time high, and it's going to continue to do that. And I want to talk about why and how we can take advantage of it. It's very, very important to have a perspective on this. Understand, no matter what is going on here with regard to the horrible, and there's no other way to put that, turn of events, despite what camp you're in, whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican, whether you're an independent, whether you're whatever you might be, and whatever your ideology is across the board, you can't deny that the world is in a very bad spot right now. But understand this. The Federal Reserve and all of the developed nations around the world are not going to allow a hit to their economies. Because understand, there is no real recovery status post-crash of 2008 here. And this is why, just going back to the geopolitical events so you can understand what I'm talking about here, we will not put, the United States or Europe will not put any substantial sanctions against Russia and Vladimir Putin because it would affect their economies. They're going to just, do these kind of like pinprick things here or there. The liability of having, at this particular time, a U.S. national debt at near $18 trillion is a terrible thing. And Putin has promised to use that as a weapon against our economy. And Europe is in the same boat here. So, again, they will not do anything to rock the boat. The Federal Reserve knows this. Our policymakers understand this. The vast majority of the people do not understand this. So you can expect this to happen. No meaningful sanctions from the United States, no meaningful sanctions from any of the European countries out there. Putin will do whatever he wants. As a matter of fact, it's not just him. Alliances are being created, people, across the board here. Russia and China, Russia in the Middle East, Russia, Syria, Russia, Iran, and the United States, unfortunately. And, a lot of people have a hard time understanding this and grasping it and believing it. The United States is in a terminal decline. And a lot of this has to do with the horrible liability of our national debt. It's a very sad thing that is going on right now. And people don't seem to understand the price that is going to be paid or need to be paid for the United States losing that status. It's very unfortunate that our policymakers have not really grabbed onto this. And I'm not just beating up on the president here, because candidate Obama was a lot smarter than President Obama is here. And I've been talking about him a lot in the last two videos that I have done. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there that don't understand the significance of that office. It is profound for many, many reasons. Our forefathers here in the United States envisioned a nation that would be a beacon for the world, where people could come here and seek out opportunity. and prosperity. That's what it was all about. Today, in our country, 1 in 5 American citizens are receiving public assistance. There's no prosperity here anymore.
1 in 5.
And unfortunately, we seem to be moving toward a socialist agenda. These never work. Go back in history. And because of that, because the United States is losing its status in the world,
we already lost it.
All of us are going to suffer for this here, without any doubt. Look, I've come out here over the past couple of days, and I've really pounced on the president for a lot of things. But you have to understand the perspective is, without a very strong leader and a people who are willing to make some types of sacrifice, we're going to lose that status, and we're going to be taken over by other countries around the world. And that is a very sad thing.
See, this is where he loses it.
Many, many things to happen.
He doesn't get
and
that
one
this
of
is
them
all
is the
part of
quality
the
of life here in
agenda.
the United States is going to change dramatically. That's very sad. As an American citizen, to have to sit here and say that, but it's a fact.
It's all part
Let
of
me
the
just go
agenda.
on to this real quick before I move forward here. The other reason why I believe that the U.S. equity markets are going to be going higher here is again, it's the mechanism that is in place, and those that are in control of it are not done, and they will not be finished until the middle class is finished, until it's done here. I understand clearly, people, that President Obama is a mouthpiece, believe me. And the videos I have done over the past couple of days, I really tried to get people riled up. I wanted people to argue. I wanted people to be mad at me. I really did this on purpose. I wanted people to think outside the box. And if it took a jolt like that, I'm fine with it. I'm absolutely fine with it. But someone needs to get out here and do this. Someone needs to get people thinking. You know, no matter what you do, sometimes people aren't going to change the way they think. They're incapable of thinking outside that box that they've been put in. They don't even realize they're in the box. And that's the greatest tragedy of them all. So these past 2 videos that I had done were really done on purpose by me. I wanted to get people thinking, and I wanted to get people angry, because it's the only way to start some type of a dialogue or a movement or something to get things done here, people. It's awful, and no matter what your ideology is, you have to look at the grand scheme of things and the big picture globally, and not live in your little box that you've been put in here from our policymakers and the mainstream media, all of the media outlets. It's a fact. Without that, we're all doomed. That's a fact. That's another fact. And there's 1 in 5 Americans that are on public assistance is going to get much, much worse, that ratio here. It's a terrible, terrible thing to understand where this is going, and try to, you know, put this into a perspective for people so they can understand this in that way. You know, let me just say this too, because I think it's important, and it really puts a spin, maybe not a spin, but more of I don't know, an optic on what I'm talking about here. Again, there is no denying that, and what is going on around the world here. Whatever your ideology is, whatever your loyalty lies to, whatever party or whatever religion or whatever it might be. President Obama right now is on a fundraising tour while this whole thing is unfolding around him. And there are those out there that are willing to say, oh, well, he's fundraising, but he's being kept on top of what's going on here. What are the optics of this to the rest of the world here? It's incredible if you understand what's happening here.
Focus on the big
if you want to
picture,
just
man.
talk about 2 things
It's
here,
all
you
about
have
the
President
money.
Obama, who has the hardest job on the planet. I'll give him that. It's the hardest job on the planet, bar none. But he's not taking this seriously. He's
from the
dividing our
beginning.
nation. He refuses to hold anyone accountable for anything. We understand this issue with Iran. He extended the nuclear talks here, although he's being ignored for the last 6 months here. He comes out publicly talking about Hamas as a terrorist organization. Meanwhile,
Hamas
he's
was
allowing
created by
Iran
Israel.
to supply them with weapons. And the whole issue here, another one, and I've had a lot of comments about this, the Ukrainian problem. We have an army there that is being backed financially, supported logistically, and every other way by Russia. So you want to ignore that and say this is not the Russian army? That's your perspective, okay? My perspective is if you're backing a force that's invading a country, if you want a sovereign nation, and has already taken part of it, that's your army. You own it. Period. You can take what you want away from that, but that's the way I see it.
He's a little backwards on that.
It's absolutely...
At least from my perspective, I don't know. I'm not going to say that I know all, be all, end all, whatever. But Crimea didn't want to be a part of Ukraine anymore because they didn't want anything to do with the EU. They elected to try to become an autonomous region and side with Russia. Russia did not take that piece of the country. And the Donetsk region is in the same boat. They don't want to be a part of Ukraine any longer. They don't want to be a part of the EU. They don't want to be saddled with that debt. Now, if Putin is giving them a little money and some weapons and stuff, good on him. Because those people deserve to be autonomous if they choose, right? If your state, the state of Jefferson, say, was looking to be autonomous from California, and we're being bombed by California on a daily basis to try to get them to come back, I wouldn't hold it against Oregon if Oregon was sending them some money and weapons. Lance, welcome to the show, brother.
That was a good analogy.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was a good analogy in the end.
Anyway, that's the way I see the whole Ukraine thing. You can call me a stupid ass if you feel like it, but that's my choice. It's my microphone and my hour, so I get to voice my opinion. Anywho, welcome to my show, brother. I'm glad that you decided to stop in, Mr. Sidekick. I thought you were going to take a day off because it was my birthday.
Happy birthday. But now I had to restart my old computer, and it did that where I had to rebuild it block by block because it wasn't shut down correctly, and so it took a while.
Buy a Mac. Anyway, so you heard the? Did you? I don't know. Did you listen in on your phone or?
No, but no? I heard the Manarino the first day, but I didn't hear the first video you did. Scott would have been put out a hyper report, but I didn't get it.
Oh, okay. Well, just go ahead and dive into your Smoke'em's Market Minute anyway, and let us know what's happening. They should have all had a holiday because it was my birthday, but I reckon they were all there trading anyway.
Yeah, they probably didn't. And because we're into it now, I got some other stuff too, but just headlines that were popped across me. Pennsylvania's credit rating cut by Moody because of their budget.
Wow, how's Chicago looking on Moody's?
Well, just wait, because what they're doing is hitting everybody for their pension, their rising pension cost.
Absolutely. That's what tanked Detroit, man.
60 cents. Is it 60? Yeah, 60 cents of every new dollar of state general fund revenues go to pension cost.
Holy shit.
That's right there in Pennsylvania. It's clear that this pension crisis has put a severe strain on Pennsylvania's finances. Moody's did say that there was more chance of it, certainly more likely than not, that it would be downgraded again. Same with Fitch ratings, S&P also. So it's I expect to see more states coming along with this very soon.
Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah, probably.
Speaking of pensions, Detroit is pleased with the vote of creditors on the plan it proposed to eliminate $7.4 billion with a B in debt, and will release the final results this evening. So this article came out today, so it'll be out today. Find out something on Wednesday. But they've been negotiating with the public workers and the teachers and stuff like that, or mostly the public workers, because in the United Auto Workers. But they've all negotiated a deal to reduce the size of the proposed pension cut. So they're getting a cut, but not as much. So I'm very surprised Chicago hasn't made it into the limelight yet. We thought it would actually happen last year. So they're doing a good job. They're doing a good Ben Bernanke. He was an expert at what he did.
A crashing an economy. Yeah, he was an expert at that shit, boy.
I mean, he was an expert of it. That's for sure.
Brown noser, expert ass kisser, expert puppet. Imagine his anus is very large to accommodate several hands. So, yeah, he's an expert.
And then, because like I said, we're a quarter way into the show, so past it. On a sad note, Goldman Sachs, Nicholas Valtz, the managing director in cross-asset sales, was found dead yesterday by family members who went searching for him after he didn't return from a kiteboarding outing. He was found in Napagee Harbor near the eastern end of Long Island. I'm sure some New Yorker is yelling at me right now.
Napagee, you idiot!
With the correct pronunciation. But according to the East Hampton, New York police, he was a novice kiteboarder and was found floating in the water, secured to his kite. And I could actually see yourself
with a bullet in the back of his head.
They didn't mention that part of it. But he was... his wife also works
Strangely
at Goldman
enough,
Sachs.
some of the kite strings were tied tightly around his neck.
I was wondering that. But she also works at Goldman Sachs as head of global third-party research sales. So they're still investigating the death, and they have no comment as of now.
No comment.
Kiteboarding is a convergence of windsurfing and paragliding that has attracted technology executives, including Google co-founder, the two of them, propels riders as fast as 40 miles an hour on boards 4 to 5 feet long.
Whee!
Crossbars connected to the kites with lines using waves as ramps. Riders can vault 10 to 40 feet out of the air and spin before landing. Whee! So it was a tragic accident, I'm sure.
No, it's tragic. I'm sure that Goldman Sachs didn't have any insurance on this cat either.
Well,
none whatsoever.
He's an executive, so you know.
No.
No, he did.
They wouldn't try to cash in on somebody's death, for Christ's sake. No way. Anyway, what else you got over there?
Non-financial stuff, some interesting stuff that'll...
Well, I already played the video, so we're not going to have any interim. So if you want to jump into one, go right ahead.
Sure. Let me get this out of here. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
McDonald's and Yum Brands Incorporated, which is...
God, China's not going to send him any more horse meat. I saw that.
Well, interestingly enough...
Meat, just regular meat. Just meat. I made that mistake.
Yeah, interestingly enough, they were repackaging and selling chicken and beef that had exceeded by its sell-by date. This allegations renew concerns about unsafe...
MSG, Americans lead anything.
Yep. The allegations renew concerns about unsafe food in China following abuses that have included fox DNA found in donkey meat and lacing baby formula with melamine, a compound used in plastics.
Melamine.
Thank you. The meat had been sold to locations in China and Japan only. So none of it made it over to America. And in Japan, only the McNuggets were the only affected product. Starbucks, they have a chicken apple panini on their menu, and it's no longer for sale in China. So I thought that was interesting. I mean, I thought they made it all here, but it makes sense that they get it from a local distributor over there.
Probably because they found goat DNA in the apple.
Yeah, they had found some other things in the past, and they were talking about
like lead, toys and paint, in the paint on kids' toys and stuff. I remember that from just a few years back. What else? China just sends us all their garbage, right? I mean, they're like, fuck, it's Americans.
Well, all that Chinese drywall, do you remember that back then?
Yeah, it had some kind of formaldehyde or something that would weep off of it after a while or some shit.
It turned the walls black. We had a whole neighborhood that included about 30 to 40 homes, and all of them were built with Chinese drywall. This one builder used specifically this drywall. And within a couple years, everybody was complaining about being sick, had to move out. Dude, you want to talk about a ghost town? I mean, those people went from, living in a house that they paid a couple $100,000 for to their insurance company saying, sorry, we're not covering this, and you've got to replace every single bit of drywall in your house. Yeah. And most of your wood because it soaked into your wood.
Right. Yeah, it leached into it. Yeah.
But they've redone every single house in that neighborhood, and it's thriving again.
Oh, yeah. People are idiots, man. They don't give a shit.
A lot of people buy the FHA loans. They steal them at a really good price. They get a rehab loan, so they finance all the cost of the rehab into it.
Just wait, man. Down here in Mayflower, Arkansas, where they had the pipeline break open and drown that entire neighborhood in tens of thousands of gallons of crude oil. Mm-hmm. Eventually, in about a year or 2, 3 more, all that oil is going to soak up into the ground, and nobody's going to be able to see it anymore, and all those homes are going to go back up for sale, and the pipeline's going to get buried, and nobody's going to know. And people are stupid. People have no memory. They, 30-second sound bite. That's it. If you go any longer than that, man, if you start stretching it out to a minute nowadays, they start nodding off.
Well, to be honest, I look at a video, and if it's more than 10 or 12 minutes, I'm not real keen on sitting down and watching it unless it was dropped from a good friend or anything.
It depends on what the subject matter is to me. I don't care who drops it. If it's something that I'm, passionate about or interested in, and I think I got it the time, I'll take the time.
That's why I'll send the message back to you. 22 minutes, man? Come on. Is it worth it?
Yes. All right. I'm going to hit this story because I really enjoyed this story. If this guy can get it, then everybody in this fucking country should get it. On July 17th, the New York City Police Department killed Eric Garner, husband, father of 6 children. The entire incident was caught on video from a witness who kept telling the cops that the man had not committed a crime.
Further redacted that he did, but minor at that.
It was a horrible tragedy indeed, and garnished the attention of YouTube sensation Angry Grandpa, who's not afraid of airing his opinion. Angry Grandpa epitomizes the anger that so many Americans have today. The people are tired of watching innocent men and women and dogs, I added that in, dogs, die at the hands of those who claim to protect them. If the police were actually protecting and serving, people like Angry Grandpa wouldn't be ranting about this incident. He'd be ranting about baseball or football. And I'm going to play this video. It has some fucking foul language, so if you don't want to fucking listen to it, close your fucking ears.
I'm trying to keep it together, Mike. I'm trying to keep this shit together. I saw a video about a guy named Eric Gardner in New York. The man stopped a fight. The man he manned up in his own community and said, hey, y'all can't fight here, and broke the fight up. We're talking about a man married, 6 children, 2 grandchildren. Trying to do what's right for the community. I saw the video. I read the report that the New York City Police Department wrote. I thought I was reading 2 goddamn different books! They say the man got a fighting stance! This is a goddamn fighting stance! This is a goddamn fighting stance! This is where it back up! Which is what Mr. Gardner did! He's shooting him! Mr. Gardner goes down to the ground! 600 goddamn cops jump on him! Six!
Stop. Just talk.
Starts tearing up.
6 cops jump on him! The man's down on the ground! One of you fuckers had your knee in his back! One of you had a hand around his neck! He's telling you, I counted 10 times! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! The man wasn't even fighting back! You killed him! You killed an innocent man! You know...
Oh, Dad. No, come
You know you cops, I swear to God! Maybe you took your fucking ass down!
He grabbed a bat up out of the corner. He just
You
pushed a
walk
bunch of
around
shit
New
off
York
on the
City
floor.
like you are gods!
I dropped that link in chat for
You
everybody.
harass people on the street! Why? He was black? So he's guilty? He's black? So he did it? He's black? So he took a stance? He backed up? He asked, why? What are you doing?
Put the bat down. Calm
No,
down.
you just did a fucking, you just...
Calm down, Dad.
I hope that cop that choked him burns in hell! And I hope to God he's charged with murder! Murder in the first degree! Put his ass in general pop! When you're right now, here's some kids now, their dad's gone. The husband can't supply the family meal with their meals now. He can't hold and love with his grandchildren anymore. Why? Because of New York City police. You bastards need to go through psychological training before you ever become a police. Because when you turn a cop in New York City, you think you're God. You are not God. You're a goddamn man. And you don't deserve to die. You deserve to die yourself.
Calm down.
You will see come.
Yes, calm, please.
He commences to beat the
If
shit
I'd been
out
on
of
the
his
street
microwave.
and I seen you choking me, you know what I'd have done? You know what I'd have done?
Dad!
That's what I'd have done.
Stop!
That's exactly what I'd have done.
You just got this thing.
He don't give a damn.
That's what I would have done if I'd have seen you choking that man. Arrest me, choke me, bitch. Man. That's enough. Cut it off. I say cut it off, Mike.
Goes back over to the corner and sits down in his easy chair after he beats the door off the front of the microwave.
I will say
And
that
smashes the rest of it.
you know, that story has been since redacted. Everybody but the mainstream media is, I mean, not or is talking about it, but I mean, that cop that got him was an undercover cop, and you know, he was selling singles or whatever they call untaxed cigarettes by the singles on the street. That's what they were arresting him for.
Does that deserve to kill him?
No, not one bit. No, not
Did you
one
see
bit.
the video? Did you watch the video?
Oh, I watched it.
Okay,
Yeah, I watched it.
that was completely over the top.
Oh yeah, that guy instigated it. I mean, the one in the Jersey,
Yeah.
the undercover cop, vice cop, which
Yep.
is out there busting people selling singles and drugs on the street. And so, I mean, this guy had been arrested right around that corner for selling cigarettes in the past, at least some of the stories that I've seen. So it has been redacted that, you know, they weren't there just because he stopped a fight. They were there for something else. But there's no way that this, you know, his actions, demeanor, or anything else justified that.
Yeah, that was warrantless violence by the NYPD.
You know, I was catching
That
up
was
on my
first-degree murder by the NYPD.
during a commercial break from CNN, I cut over to Al Sharpton, and he actually had that story and the one
the guy's
where,
black.
well, hold on, where the cop was beating up the person on the side of the interstate. Everybody's seen that.
Because she was black.
Because she was black. And, Al Sharpton
you don't see
said,
him
this
saying
is
shit about any white dude getting shot to death or, yeah.
Yeah, and he was blaming it all on race. We've come this far. Martin Luther King this, Martin Luther King that. And I'm like, dude, there's many other white people getting killed. Why don't you bring those up?
Martin Luther King Jr. would punch you in your face, and he's an anti-violent guy. Mr. Al Sharpton, you are nothing but a pathetic ass.
All these tools on TV are, all of them. I mean, I was watching just to get my fill of it. They're all blaming Russia now. I hate to change the subject, but
no, let's go right ahead. I mean, that's the next thing. We're going to talk about this whole Ukraine deal, and then we're going to try to fit some. I want to fit some Gaza in here too because that's ridiculous.
I agree, but Boris,
they killed over 100 people yesterday.
Yesterday, just alone. But Boris on RT, the guy that looks like Boris. Mm-hmm. I mean, he had the story on there about U.S. first strike this and U.S. first strike that. And I'll tell you what, every single channel on mainstream media is blaming Russia about this.
Putin's missile.
Yep, Putin's missile. He trained them. He's culpable
for it. He did this on purpose.
Yeah, he did it on purpose. This is going to destroy air travel because people are going to be too scared to fly now.
Blah, 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 blah.
They give Malaysian Airlines 3 to 4 more years before the decline in passengers because they've lost 2 of them in 6 months. But everything is being blamed on Russia and Putin.
And it is such a bag of lies. I cannot believe that it's still trying to be propagated because it is nothing but a plethora of lies. It's propaganda trying to punch up the American public to start waving their goddamn flags again and screaming bomb them.
Aye.
It's the truth, man. They tweeted out a picture of a separatist soldier standing in the middle of the debris with a stuffed animal in his hand. Okay, now this went across the Twitter sphere like crazy. And they said that this cat was holding this thing up as a prize for shooting the plane down. Now, RT had a videographer there that captured that whole incident on video, and you could hear the cameras snapping away from all the other fucking media personnel that were there trying to prop up their propaganda. And what he did was he held up that doll so that they could see that there were kids on the plane. And then he set it down by the body that it was laying next to. He took his hat off, and he made the sign of the cross. And he put his hat back on, shook his head, and walked away. That's propaganda. They turned that guy's emotional moment into a piece of propaganda. Sickens me, man. It sickens me. The media nowadays is just, you people are a joke.
They are.
You're a joke. And you should all be ashamed of yourselves to call yourselves journalists, for Christ's sake. You're puppets. You do what you're told. You're nothing. You're a part of the problem. You're a cause of a lot of the problem.
Well, they're the cause of the sheeple mindset, and 100%. It's their fault. Like I said on the other show, it's the problem of people that didn't have the computer until they were in their 30 or late 40s. That generation, baby boomers, all they had was the frickin' TV and Walter Cronkite and all them other guys that would sit there and lie to them every night and tell them the government's version of history.
And the same things happen in Gaza. And that should be the number one red flag to go off in anybody's brain, was that the very hour that plane smashed into the earth in Ukraine, Israeli forces started their ground movement
on the ground
into Gaza. The very same hour. Wake up, people. For Christ's sake. It's already too late, but Jesus, save yourselves. Come on.
I did see on CNN that the Jewish support of American people has declined again for another year straight, or 2 years straight.
Look at what's going on in France, man. There was 19 people arrested in the protests over in France trying to get the media to start, talking straight stories. Same thing's happening in Britain. BBC
and Britain.
Smashed with emails and letters telling them, what the hell are you doing? What? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Britain's bullshit corporation, or that's what they call it.
The British bullshit corporation.
Yeah. But there were protests in America. I think Chicago or New York, there was huge protests pro-Gaza.
Pro-Palestinian.
And not one word has been said on any news channels. Mm-hmm. It's a total media blackout. Social media has it abound. Yeah, social media has it abound, but, it's just... And it's like this in every country, so that you can't just blame our journalists for directing the views of people, because it's the media all over the planet that disseminates this bullshit to everybody.
And it just goes to show you how blind the media is to the populace that they're trying to talk to, that they won't even cover what's trending on Twitter or Facebook.
No. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. It's disgusting, actually. It's criminal. We could use another few adverbs, adjectives, whatever. I don't know. I'm not a... Saul? Where you at, Saul? Anyway. Yeah. It's
just the number of, people that are just supporting Israel in their posts, social media posts and everything like that. I mean, it's astounding. I don't even comment on them anymore and say, you do realize that they're the ones being the aggressors, really, on this. But it's not even worth it.
The IDF are such a bunch of pussies that they bombed a hospital. They shelled a hospital and killed 4 people and wounded like almost 20 others, I think.
No, 60.
Oh, 60 others. Oh, my
60.
God. Yeah, see, okay, I got that wrong.
Yep.
Yeah, a hospital. You guys are a big bag of dicks. I dare you to come over here and try that shit on this soil. I dare you, IDF. Come over here and try that shit on this soil. Our Boy Scouts will hand your asses to you.
We do have 470 Israeli Americans in the Defense Force. I did see that stat
I give a
earlier
fuck
today.
about those jackasses. I hope some of them are the ones that got killed today and yesterday.
Well, I don't wish for anybody to be killed. I wish everybody peace and happiness.
IDF, the IDF forces, shooting children, I do. I wish horrible things upon those people, and I'll probably pay a price for that.
Well,
karma's going to get me for that one.
I mean, okay. If everybody were to lay down their weapons and say,
they won't, though. Have you listened to that chick?
I'm never going to kill somebody else again.
Have you listened to that apologist that the IDF has, the woman that comes on RT and talks and answers questions
tries to
the little apologist, nasty ass.
I've seen her.
Just pathetic, man. Pathetic. That humans would treat other humans that way in the first place just makes me sick.
Doesn't any race that or species that treats animals, I mean, some of the way people treat animals is just, altogether inhuman. Yeah, it says a lot about them. Again, we've said it before. My dad has a neighbor that lives next door, and when this guy comes over, he's from Bayou of Louisiana, and prejudiced as all get out, and just a Cajun boy, and the dogs hate him. They bark the whole time that he's there, and I'm like, my dogs don't like you. I got to be careful of you.
Okay. We're going to jump off of that for just a minute because my blood pressure is peaking.
Oh, I got something.
I don't want to get a headache today.
I got something for you.
Yeah, go for it, man.
What's hotter than the hottest hot?
What's colder than the coldest cold?
The last 2 months is the answer. Another month, another temperature record broken. The average temperature of Earth's surface last month exceeded all Junes before it for 130 years, since record keeping began in 1880, according to new data from NOAA.
You know what else happened last month?
No.
Antarctica broke its all-time ice record. Imagine that, huh?
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
This may sound familiar because it's the exact same language used to describe the month of May, which was the hottest month of May ever recorded since 1880.
I think that's a bunch of bullshit.
That's what they say.
Because it's coming from NOAA.
Yeah. The combined
funded
combined average temperature over global land and ocean surfaces in June was 1.3 degrees above the 20th century average.
Woo! Pass me an ice cream!
So I thought that was a interesting stat.
That's our global warming update for today.
Hey, man, it's been hot as hell where you are. I mean, not here, but it's been hot as hell where you are.
Dude, I mean, a couple weeks ago, a week ago, a little over a week ago, it was hotter than hell. But,
man, you were having 90-degree days in April. I mean, April and May, you were having 90-degree days.
Yeah,
that's just weird.
Well, thanks, geoengineering.
That's global warming. Al Gore. I saw a movie about it. And I haven't done any other research since I saw that movie.
Something about a hockey stick. Anyway, here's something that just got dropped in the chat. I think Gypsy dropped this. Thanks, Missy. It's been quite a week for geopolitics. First, the BRICS openly define the legacy developed world system with the formation of the BRIC Bank and the creation of a $100 billion currency reserve, promptly followed by the latest and most severe round of U.S. sanctions against Russia, followed by even more promptly by the tragic disaster of MH17, which sadly will turn out to be nothing but yet another provocative attempt to unleash war and change the Russian-European energy balance of power. Masked by public fury at the death of several hundred innocent bystanders, and speaking of innocent bystanders' deaths, nothing tops Israel's decision to roll out the tanks into Gaza just hours following the Ukraine tragedy and sending the death count on the Gaza side soaring well into the 300s. All in all, a very disturbing week, which however, nobody who was looking at the S&P 500 would realize. It's also been a very busy week for viral epidemiologists who have been following the ongoing Ebola epidemic in West Africa, which has claimed over 600 lives now and has become the world's the worst Ebola outbreak in history, with anxiety and dread. But what may soon be even bigger news is what we reported a week ago, namely that Colorado man infected with the rarest and most fatal form of the pneumonic plague, an airborne version that can be spread through coughing and sneezing. Shocked by this development, the state was working to investigate the source of exposure and to identify those who may have been exposed through close contact with the individual, the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment said in its statement. Any individuals exposed will be recommended for antibiotic treatment. Alas, that may be futile, because while untreated plague is fatal, antibiotics have to be given within 24 hours of the first symptoms to reduce the chance of death. Symptoms of the disease include fever, headache, chest pain, along with pneumonia that develops rapidly, causing shortness of breath, chest pain, and bloody mucus, according to the CDC. Very nice.
Bloody mucus is usually a dead giveaway of something serious.
Mm-hmm. Since there is no vaccine available for the plague in the U.S., one can understand why the authorities are doing their best to prevent a panic. Colorado officials recommend that residents keep pets away from wildlife, especially dead rodents. The plague can be spread from animals after a large die-off of prairie dogs when fleas with the bacteria seek new hosts, according to the state. The message we're trying to get out is that the plague bacteria is present here in Colorado and to take necessary precautions to avoid getting infected. Alas, the message appears not to have gotten out in time, according to Bloomberg. Things in Colorado are about to get worse, as 3 more plague cases have been found in Colorado a week after the first infection of the deadliest form of the disease was reported in the state in a decade. The man initially reported with pneumonic plague on July 11th is hospitalized. 2 of the new cases also had pneumonic plague, while the third had a milder form. All 4 cases may be linked to the original man's dog, which died from the illness, state health officials said, or they may not. Yeah, no shit, man. The good news is the people newly found to be infected were treated with antibiotics, recovered, and are no longer contagious. Health officials suspect the dog that died may have been exposed to plague-infected fleas from prairie dogs or rabbits. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it usually only happens to one animal. Yeah.
The bad news is that the last time we heard about a case of plague in Colorado, that too was supposed to be the last one, but it won't prevent the authorities from attempting to talk down the spread in case. Let's see. Okay, that's about it for that.
Once they develop a vaccine, quote unquote, people be lining up at Walmart for it.
Let's see. Hang on, I'm going to read this. This is a statement from the Colorado authorities, I guess. There are 3 main types of plague. Septicemic occurs when the bacteria proliferates in the bloodstream. Bubonic takes a hold underneath the skin. And pneumonic, the most serious, can be spread through coughing, sneezing, and occurs when the bacteria enters the lungs.
Pneumonic.
Right. Plague in all of its forms usually infects an average of 7 people yearly in the U.S. and is found mostly in the western states of Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado, according to the CDC. The disease is transmitted by fleas, we just talked about that, which pitch up bacterium, blah, 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 chipmunks, prairie dogs, ground squirrels, mice, and other mammals. So don't go playing with the wildlife. While this is not a daily, weekly, or monthly occurrence, it isn't without precedence, said Jim Funke, Director of Public Information of Adams County, where the original victim lives. In a telephone interview, he said, a case of plague where fleas and prairie dogs are involved isn't earth-shattering for Colorado. Pneumonic plague's pretty earth-shattering. Just saying.
If he ever loses his job, he can be a spokesman for Fukushima, too, probably.
Yeah, or Monsanto.
Yeah, or Monsanto, yeah.
Okay, so that's that. What do you got next? We got 6 minutes.
In a totally made-up fact, I think Pat Robertson would say it's because they legalized the weed out there.
This is the judgment of the Lord on all you pipe smokers.
In good news, and you just spoke of Monsanto, this article does not reference Monsanto in one bit. But the U.S. soybean crop is in the best shape for this time of year since 1994. While corn ratings...
Soybeans are so good for the human body. I mean, we've been past that fallacy for about 5 years now.
Yeah. While corn ratings are the highest in a decade as mild Midwest temperatures help boost the outlook for yields. So we're having stellar soybean and corn crops, and actually the prices of them are dropping by a third in some places.
Because the corn was 8 feet tall at the beginning of July.
So, the prices are dropping, but I'll bet
shit.
But I will bet that you do not see one price drop in your supermarket. The price may be dropping for the
production
makers,
for producers, whoever's making
profit makers. But I'll bet you and I and everybody listening doesn't see $1 savings out of all the extra corn and soybeans.
No,
because I'll tell you what,
high fructose corn syrup is going to be expensive.
Yeah, I went out of my way to get Klutzmans or Klutzmans. I think it's Klutzmans soda because they use real cane sugar in it. It even says right on the bottle, no high fructose corn syrup. We use real cane sugar.
Try Fentonmans.
Never heard of it.
Well, I'll send you a link here in a little bit. It's ginger soda, man. This shit's addictive. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's botanically brewed. It's very good. It's very expensive, though. But anywho. Yeah, we got 4 minutes, man. You want to try to hit another story, or you want to just kind of ramble our way out of it?
Yeah, we'll ramble our way out of it.
Right on.
I will say, finish it, on a sad note. I did read, and I've always thought about it. You and I have talked about it. The jet, the passenger jet that got shot down.
Yeah.
There were some experts that were talking about it. would they have been awake, during the fall? And all of them kind of agree that combined with the plane's dramatic deceleration, and instantly everyone on board was rendered unconscious or dead. So even if you were right from decompression, they said it would have taken within seconds. Hypoxia would have set in at 33,000 feet, leading to a loss of consciousness.
Can I tell you something though?
So that's I was worried
just
about
for
that.
1 second. Sit in your chair right there. Okay. Close your eyes. Pretend you're on a plane. Picture yourself in this big metal tube with a bunch of people sitting in front of you. Okay. And now you hear this god awful noise, and you see this giant hole in the plane in front of you. Count to 3.
Yep.
That's a long, long time.
Yeah, I don't even know that you'd have time to react to it. You would be in shock.
Yeah, but still, you would see that.
Shock, but you would see it.
That would be your last conscious thought until your body was rendered useless on this planet and you made the transition.
Yeah, your soul was closer to where it was going. So it was 33,000 feet closer to where it was going.
Just a horrific incident, man. And to know in my heart.
It's no different than Lockerbie or any other, plane.
Yeah, but to know in my heart, because I know in my heart that was perpetrated on this planet by the powers that be.
I don't believe it's random. Russia is standing by if it was shot down, it was an accident. It was not done on purpose.
Ukraine said now that they're taking responsibility for it. I guess that just dropped a minute ago. I don't know. I'm going to have to go dig that up, and we'll talk about it on Wednesday if that's the fact.
That's to try to throw the pressure off of Putin.
There shouldn't be any pressure on Putin, man. He didn't do a damn thing.
I saw the only way Obama's ever going to hurt Putin is if Putin's standing in the doorway as he's on the way to a fundraiser.
Yeah. Go run him over.
I thought that was
first
funny.
wallet.
Yep.
All right, folks, we're out. We'll see you on Wednesday. Thanks, Lance. I love you, brother. Everybody stay tuned for Turboville. He's coming up after me. The United Front Radio. Then Anti-Media Radio. Nick Burnaby. I had a pretty good birthday. I think I'm going to go finish it out in style. Peace, everybody.